In the labyrinthine corridors of the human psyche, wherein the nocturnal spirits of insomnia dwell, our protagonist, Oschino, finds himself ensnared in the ephemeral clutches of digital scrolling.
I'm in the morning, man. I don't sleep, right? So I'm on the internet scrolling. I see Joe Budden on his podcast says something about, I had made a statement saying that, Jay-Z took the stand for Beans in behalf of Beans. And the judge asked him, some questions, would he be responsible for him? He said, oh, right? All I said was, I don't understand that kind of thinking because, I love my homie, so I would never do that, right? No big deal. So, it went crazy because anytime you say something about somebody that's famous, everybody, go crazy. But anyway, Joe Budden said Jay-Z texted him and said what I was saying was cap. Like, what? I know I don't even want to believe he said that, but I don't know. I don't think Joe Budden's mad about it. I don't know. But there's a million people there. But one thing about me, y'all know I don't be lying. So, my whole thing was this. I can even understand a person saying, listen, I don't want to be responsible for dude is this, dude is that, he a liability, whatever. But if you come into court in my behalf, right? Driving from New York City to Philadelphia, in my behalf, to get on the stand, in my behalf, and then say no, what's the point of you coming at all? That's my only gripe with it. And I just said I don't understand that kind of thinking because I can never imagine me leaving one of my homies in prison. But now, like I do is say I'm responsible for him. And everybody on the internet, nobody want to be responsible for a grown man. Shut up. But don't come to court. What you come to court to hurt me for? Then people saying, well, he might not knew the judge was going to ask him that. Well, what do you want the judge to ask you? When you come in somebody's behalf, they're going to ask you something about the person that you come to court for. But anyway, the whole point of this video was to say, I can't believe he said it was cat, if he really said that. Because, everybody's seen it. I was right there. This ain't no hearsay. I was right in the second row, looking right at it when he said it, and I couldn't believe he said it. But like I always say, I just don't understand that thinking. I'm not saying who wrong, who right. Just don't understand that thinking. I'm from the ghetto for real, and I was raised in the streets for real, and I got a different outlook on things, which sometimes might not be right. But another thing is this. You rapping about selling drugs, doing crime, F the police, all that type of stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, you a citizen. So I just didn't understand. I was young at the time too, so I really didn't understand then. So stop. Don't say I'm capping though. Peace.
In this diurnal twilight, he encounters the pontifications of one Joe Budden, a veritable Dionysus of podcasting. Herein lies the crux of our discourse, the proclamations surrounding the enigmatic Jay-Z and his courtroom exploits vis-a-vis Beanie Sigel, known colloquially as Beans. The narrative commences with Oschino, plagued by the somnolent void, traversing the boundless expanse of the internet. It is within this virtual agora that he stumbles upon the auditory spectacle of Joe Budden's podcast. Budden, in his oratorical flourish, recapitulates Oschino's assertion that Jay-Z had taken the stand for Beans, only to eschew responsibility when interrogated by the judicial arbiter. Oschino, a paragon of street-bred camaraderie, articulates his incredulity at Jay-Z's purported courtroom demeanor. The notion that one could abandon a confidant in the throes of juridical adversity is anathema to him. His ethos, sculpted in the crucible of urban resilience, dictates an unwavering fidelity to one's compatriots, a tenet seemingly disregarded by Jay-Z's actions. Joe Budden introduces a perplexing twist to this narrative tapestry. He avers that Jay-Z, via the medium of a text message, has repudiated Oschino's account as fallacious, cap, in the vernacular. This digital missive casts a pall of doubt over Oschino's veracity, compelling him to reaffirm his integrity and the authenticity of his eyewitness testimony. The epistemological puzzle deepens as Oschino grapples with the rationale behind Jay-Z's courtroom appearance. The cognitive dissonance stems from Jay-Z's decision to manifest physically in the legal theater, only to abdicate the moral obligation of advocacy. Oschino contends that if one elects to traverse the judicial gauntlet, it should be in the spirit of unequivocal support. Oschino, in a display of rhetorical sagacity, posits a scenario wherein Jay-Z might have been oblivious to the interrogatives posed by the adjudicator. Nevertheless, this hypothetical ignorance does little to assuage his bewilderment. The expectation of judicial inquiry is intrinsic to the act of testifying. Thus, Jaizida's unpreparedness appears a flimsy exculpation. Central to Oschino's discourse is a profound cultural disjunction. His moral compass, calibrated in the unforgiving streets, is misaligned with Jaizida's courtroom conduct. Loyalty, as sacrosanct as any juridical oath, mandates an unwavering allegiance that transcends the vicissitudes of legal peril. This divergence in ethos is at the heart of Oschino's consternation. Oschino's critique extends to the dichotomy between Jaizida's lyrical bravado and his courtroom reticence. The rap mogul, who extols the virtues of criminal defiance and anti-establishment rhetoric, is juxtaposed against his ostensibly incongruent actions. This dissonance between artistic persona and real-world behavior undermines the authenticity of the narrative Jaizid constructs through his music. Unyielding in his stance, Oschino reiterates his fidelity to the truth. His account, he asserts, is not a concoction of imagination but a recollection grounded in empirical observation. The veracity of his narrative is buttressed by the presence of myriad witnesses, each a silent sentinel to the events in question. Oschino's monologue is not a simplistic indictment but a call for understanding. He eschews a binary judgment of right and wrong, instead seeking to illuminate the chasm between divergent worldviews. His incredulity is not an accusation but a manifestation of his struggle to reconcile disparate paradigms of loyalty and responsibility. In a moment of existential reflection, Oschino acknowledges the potential fallibility of his street-honed outlook. The ghetto's moral fabric, while robust in its own context, may appear frayed against the backdrop of broader societal norms. This introspection, however, does not diminish his conviction but rather enriches his narrative with a nuanced self-awareness. As the discourse reaches its denouement, Oschino delivers a final admonition to his audience. He implores them to resist the facile temptation of dismissing his account as cap. His plea for recognition is not merely a defense of his personal honor but a broader appeal for the validation of experiential truth. In the grand tapestry of human interactions, the interplay of loyalty, truth, and perception weaves a complex narrative. Oschino's account, replete with the raw authenticity of lived experience, challenges us to navigate these intricate threads with discernment. His story, a microcosm of larger societal dynamics, invites us to ponder the profound question: how do we reconcile divergent truths in our quest for coherence?